to the Video Wars episode. So in this episode, and I'm going to be the host again. So this is Zoe from Renewal, and then I have David and joining me as a co-host. So we're both based here in the Bay Area of California. And for this episode, we actually invite Shashank from India. I think I will let him to introduce himself to see where he's based on and then why, for example, he has been invited to this episode. Hi, Shashank. I think it's your time to just get an introduction about yourself and the way that leading you down here,
Yeah,
basically.
sure. Hi Zoe, hi David. Thank you so
Hi.
much for having me here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Shashank, I'm co-founder and CTO of Stage, and we are based in India. So we are in north part of India, and the place is
Uh,
called Noida. That's
Noida.
what we operate. Yeah,
Yeah, I visited the place a few weeks back. So it's
yeah, yeah,
basically, I think Noida is close to Delhi, right?
yeah. It's near, yeah, near Delhi.
Hey,
Right.
can you tell us a little bit more about Stage? I know you have a very
Oh, you got the
fascinating
same map.
and a Stage mug. Very nice placement there. You have a very fascinating backstory, right? Because you didn't start out this part of your founder's path with an OTT service. I'd love it if you can give the viewers and the listeners a little bit of background about how you came to be a co-founder of an OTT service. Vis-a-vis the past company you had to now. That would be great. Kind of a little bit of a background.
Yeah, sure, sure. So me and my another co-founders, we started our entrepreneurial journey in 2010 when we were in like college first year. We were very fascinated about the world of tech. So we started to learn a lot of things and we
Mhm.
started to solve some problems which exist on the internet. So by doing these things in 2014, we started a company called vtfeed.com. So vtfeed was a viral content platform like BuzzFeed. So we used to have like 120 million users every month to come to our site.
So
So we used to
monthly active users,
yeah,
120 millions.
yeah, 120
Mm.
million, correct.
Mhm.
So in 2018, we had to shut down that company. It was a good a profit-making organization. We used to make like 50 crores every year. But in 2018, because of Facebook algorithm change and the content business of reading content or going down as compared to consuming of content in video format. So in 2018, we decided that we'll have to change our path. And in 2019, we started to think that in last 2 years, the smartphone era or internet era in India has changed after Jio coming in. Now everyone has a smartphone with internet connection into it. So all the users who newly came to the platform were from small places of the country. And we saw that in these places where I belong from a small village, we do not mainly speak Hindi or English. So every state has every area has a different uh, language. We call it a dialect in which they speak. So we thought that this area is completely untapped. There is no premium platform out there. So if we talk about Netflix or Amazon Prime, they only create content in Hindi, English, and other languages, and not in any small dialects. So we saw the gap there, and we belong from those kind of places. So we think there is a utter need of premium content in dialect. So we started stage with the idea of creating a, a premium quality content uh, in dialect. So we started up with the stand-up comedy, poetry, and these kind of things. Prior to that, when we had to shut down the company of Witty Feed, we had like 90 people in the team at that time, and we were out of money. So we told our team that we are not shutting down the company from here. We will build something. If you guys want to build with us, we can do that, but we won't be able to pay you all the monies. So we pitched it to our team that you you come and work with us at half of the salary, and rest half we will multiply by two, and give you the equity in the company. Out of our surprise, out of 90 people, 55 of them decided to stay back and build stage with us. So stage was the idea which was formed by the whole team, and the whole team worked for like 6 7 months, day and night, and we created this platform.
That's great, and that's an amazing story just to come from, to have a large, profitable, growing business with that many daily active, monthly active users is amazing. To have the team stay committed speaks something to the founding team as well to stay with you as well. through that shift to a kind of a different business model as well. So that's kind of interesting. So
So originally, I think because you mentioned you had once 120 million like monthly active users, right? And then you start to build a stage, which is a current effort. And then basically, originally you were doing 2C business. And right
Yeah,
now, I think right now you also as another 2C, but then it's a quite different
yeah,
um, different kind of services
yeah,
to address different needs of the consumer needs.
yeah. So basically, VTFeed was also a content company with
Mhm.
backend of a strong tech into it. An OTT platform is similar, all similar like that only. So our older skills had helped us a lot in deciding what kind of content uh, we should make, and our tech skills was anyways good. So we have built the platform from scratch.
it's a tough proposition as well, not just from the fact that you're building an OTT platform, but you actually are doing the content. You talk about the content side of it as well. You're actually, like, if I recall, you're funding content production as well, right? So you're
Yeah,
going out to people and saying, "Can you please create me content in this dialect for
yeah,
this new platform, and we will connect you to this audience," right? So that's pretty unique and
yeah.
pretty audacious. A very large leap for a small company to do both sides of it, right?
Yeah. So there were no existing content in these areas, premium quality. So we had to do that all from scratch. So anyone who had an idea of any content piece, any movie, any web series, they used to come and explain us that whole idea, and if we like it, we sanction the amount for that, and we pay for the content, and we buy it into it, and we stream that on our platform.
And what
And
kind of technical challenges did you have with that? Because I mean, obviously, you've got people that are maybe not, they're not Bollywood creators that are making this
yeah,
content.
yeah.
Probably most of the time, some of them may probably have some experience, but most of the time, are they filming on phones, or how did you work with them from a technical perspective so that they could actually provide you content in the right format?
So these guys,
So
these guys are really passionate for creating this kind of content. They are well learned, and these guys used to go to Bombay and look for work. But there are a lot of people out there, and opportunity is less
Oh,
as compared to the number of people. So when we give them opportunity in their own state, they are reverse migrating here. So these people are,
oh,
very cool.
yeah, they are all aware and well equipped with the all technical things they used to know. Yeah,
Okay, that's very cool.
right. So basically, they are you provide a platform. So not only distribute the content, right? You have to, and there's an incentive for you team to be able to help them to
yeah,
actually create the original content.
yeah.
So basically, these kind of things, like what kind of tools, what kind of, because they may have their own ways to make a content. So um, I remember you once mentioned that you may have some suggestion even regarding, for example, the plots, the script, and then because you on the other side you distribute to the end users, and you can
Yeah,
definitely collect feedbacks,
yeah,
and then to make the connection between the producer and then the end consumers.
yeah. So,
So
so, so Zoe, here's the interesting part. We analyze data heavily in our team. Our team exactly knows what kind of script will work, what kind of moment we'll have to build, at wait. If we add these kind of scenes in the content, then the subscription rate will be higher. So based on that, we have built an SOP for the person who creates the content. What kind of camera setup you have to use, how many
ooh,
lens you have to change, what kind of script flow should be there. They create end to end. All creativity will be there, but our inputs are there in our SOP. If they follow that SOP properly, then there are high chances of content doing so good.
so
So
so where do you get this? You mentioned the data. So we believe that you get all this like secret ingredient from those
yeah,
data. Do you also have a team that actually a very professional, for example, scriptwriter, or do you have also, for example, editor or along the movie producer type of like? Do you have those professional in your team, or is it mainly rely on the data to provide all these suggestions.
Yeah, yeah. So we speak about only content, then we have people of content in the team for every region, every her dialect, a head person is there who has a great understanding of content. So whenever we sanction a script, they listen to it. Their job is to listen to all new scripts. And based on our data, they decide what kind of content will work. So right now there are 800 scripts in pipeline.
Wow.
And
Wow. Okay.
yeah, our team listens to all of them.
So
And
give me a sense of, so you obviously have a lot of probably have a lot of instrumentation then in your app
yeah,
around, to understand what people are going to engage in, right? They're going to be, are you just looking at playback? Well, talk to me about the metrics that you're capturing and how the team is looking at it.
Right.
yeah. Yeah, the most important metric here is that average watch time of the user. So we use Amplitude and our own internal data platform which we have built in-house to analyze what kind of content has maximum average watch time. So if the content works, it means their average watch time has to be very good. So most of our content, our completion rate is around 80%, and
Wow.
that is really really good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's very
Uh,
cool.
so basically, I say that it's just you collect the access to the feedback, right, from the end users and then
yeah,
analyze it and then from different perspectives and provide this kind of feedback to the
correct,
producers.
correct.
So we like to have a kind of idea what kind of volume you're currently processing, and then when you get collected all these like different gyrons of videos and start to distribute it from, and there must be some other challenges. So processing videos and then to finally
Yeah,
get the video
yeah,
to the
yeah.
hands of the users, and then distribution side. For example, when I was I have been in India a few times. Video is still a challenging media format that is being shared, because sometimes I have to mention that it's a lot better actually. The first time I went to India was back to December 2019, before the pandemic broke out. And then after a long time last year, I started to travel back to India. And then I found that at least what I can see that the wireless communication, the data plans is got a lot better, even just after a couple of years. But still sometimes could be challenging. Now we are talking about videos.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, sure, Joy. So basically, we have around a million uh, MAU right now. Among them, 500,000 are paid subscribers. So it's very important to serve these users in a very proper way and fast. The streaming should be really fast. So for that, we have you guys, our Vision Runner team. They have helped us
yeah.
a lot. So you guys have been very helpful here. We transcode our videos via our Vision Runner, and we use two codecs here, S265 and S266 both, S264 and S265 both. So for the device which has support of S264, we play that, and device who has support of S265 also, we play that. Automatically, it happens on the runtime. So these helps
Oh,
us save a lot of data for our users, because users in India primarily mostly have this data pack of a GB, which they can use in a day, a GB per
uh,
day.
one
So we have to
GB
be very
a
careful.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So it's very important for us to see the size of video has to be smaller, and quality is a lot better.
Right.
Uh,
So can you give us idea? I'm just sorry. I just want to get idea like what that 1 GB really meant to a to end users. Like how long they may be able to watch, and then what
Yeah.
kind of resolution they usually can enjoy.
Yeah. So if they can enjoy on their phone, they can enjoy easily 480p or 720p, and in
Okay.
1 GB they can watch around 4 hours of content.
4 hours content is 720 or 480. That
Yeah, average
And
of
do you
that.
and do you do anything interesting to understand where they might be at in their data cap? Do the phones have APIs to say they've used this much today, so you
But
could actually adapt the
yeah, for
manifest
that
or
we'll have to
change?
ask for that we'll have to ask our user for permissions. So
Okay.
it will be a step extra. So
Okay.
we are not doing that. But yeah, it's a good idea. If some users allow us, then we'll be able to understand the or pattern here. So it's really good
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Wait.
Some additional statistics about average manifest, especially if the users are consuming that much video, right? So you talked about higher quality perhaps for your SVOD users, the
Yeah.
subscribers. Do you restrict the quality that people are not paying receive, or do they have a limited set of content they can watch?
Mm, Not right now, but the people who are not paid, they have very small library to watch, and these
Okay.
are like stand-up comedies and folk content, which
Hmm.
they can watch in free. And every paid content has a episode of free. The first episode is free there, and if you like the first episode, then you pay for it.
So
Oh,
what would you say? I mean, thinking back now, you've launched. You're in a number of markets. What do you think the biggest challenges have been for you to kind of grow the business so far?
Yeah, so basically, the major point is the completion of content. Sometimes a web series takes like 4 months, and sometimes it takes like 8, 10 months.
Mm.
So our pipeline get little distorted. That is one
Yeah.
of the problem area we face. But I think it's a a time problem and optimization thing that we will solve. We have been thinking to do our production all post production part in house.
Right.
The person who create the content, he will just shoot it end to end, and the rest after that we will do all it in house.
Hmm.
all
So
the
that
post
is the,
productions.
sorry,
You said you're waiting to do all the post
post production,
productions,
post
right?
production, yeah, because it's the most important part after shooting the content, and if we can keep that in house and scale that, it will be like amazing. Then
Hmm.
our process will become much faster.
So the post production sounds like it's a bottleneck, not the actual
Yeah,
creation process or the script
yeah,
writing process.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
somehow getting stuck in the
Yeah,
post
yeah.
houses today.
Because
Interesting.
in post-production, a lot of to and fro happens. They send us something, we ask
Ah,
them to do some changes. This process takes time, and all the analytical thing we have in-house. So using that, we'll be able to do all post-production in a much better and faster way,
yeah, yeah,
and it's scalable.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can do that thing from one single place.
So the other thing I keep thinking, coming back to the delivery to tier two and tier three cities, you must have some interesting delivery strategies or from a CDN perspective as well, because as we know, different CDNs in India have different penetrations to these different cities. So what's your kind of approach for that?
Yeah. So basically now to a tier
What you feel
two.
comfortable sharing, I should say.
Yeah, sure,
Right?
sure. All these places have good internet connections now.
Hmm.
So that problem has been solved. The problem of speed has been solved. At the same time, we'll have to be very wary of the fact that the data we use in a day should be lesser.
Hmm.
So that part has been all taken care by you guys. When we talk about streaming, we use CloudFront and Media CDN by Google.
Okay.
Right.
So
And in the
basically,
player itself,
AWS conference. Yeah, it should be
in the player
GC.
itself, automatically it decides in which area the streaming speed of CloudFront is right or Media CDN is right, and automatically it switches there and there itself for the better experience.
Right. So you basically at the beginning you mentioned that the original thought is because Indian has so many states, and every state have their own. Even within the state, I believe from one place move to another, maybe just several tens of kilometers away, then the dialogue could already start to change. So then, how are you going to like you do you always get, for example, dub by Hindi, we just provide subtitles, but then there's so many, right? When you start distribute the same content to different villages, they may be viewed with a different dialects, local
Yeah,
dialects.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
how are you going to address this with subtitles or
Yeah. So basically, we are planning to do all dialects of North India right now, and we have identified around 20 dialects, which has a household, a minimum household of 5 million. Sorry. And we started with Haryana. We were there for like 3 years, only Haryana, only one dialect. We
only
learned all
one
the things
dialect?
there, only one dialect. We learned all the things there. Then after that, we started Rajasthan, and we tried to replicate our whole playbook we have built in Haryana, and it worked really well. In like 4 months, we were able to hit the numbers which we did in 18 months in Haryana, just in 4 months in Rajasthan, which means our playbook is really right. It's working now. And what we're gonna do, see, every dialect has a different flavor. The way they live, the all cultural differences are there. If we make a general content piece, the nuances of that differences will go away. That is why it is very important to create content in their dialect, in the local theme for the local stories. And then what we do, if for expanding the size of the our TAM, we dub that content. Let's say whatever content we make in Haryanavi, we dub that into Rajasthani. Whatever
That
content we make in Rajasthani, we or dub that content in Haryanavi, and it is much cheaper. And with
Yep.
that, we are not able to get new subscribers, but our average watch time increases. Dubbed content.
And do you find that people from different states are watching content from the other dialect that's been dubbed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
they
lot
are.
of it,
Okay.
a lot of it. Yeah.
Okay. So even the fact that it's just northern India was enough maybe to say, oh, that's still appealing content to me. It doesn't have to be from my part
Yeah,
of the state.
right now this happens into Rajasthan and Haryana both. Next year we are launching Bhojpuri and Maithili. Then we will dub those content as well in Haryanvi and Rajasthani and vice versa.
Very cool.
so then how do you think push, because right now you have two states, for example, and then you want to get so all the other states, right? So it's going to be a grow and scaling type of
Yeah.
thing. So what do you expect, like the challenges when you grow from a small number of states to a much larger?
Yeah, I think if we talk about only a tech problem, so I think building more tools for the artist and creator will solve our problem. But major problem will lie into operational aspect of it. See, every dialect will have a web series every month, small, more content pieces, around 8-10 hours of content we create in every dialect. So it will become very operationally heavy. We will have to build all processes which can scale very fast. I think that is the only challenge we see as we expand in other dialects. So operationalness it will increase operation heaviness.
Right, and oh, just wonder because you're building all these kind of tools, right, to facilitate and then analyze the data from the end users. So have you also like think of create some more, for example, like AI, artificial character, and
Yeah.
then I would think, for example, I see some movies sometimes the actually combination between I think the natural scenes together with maybe some cartoons or animated characters on there, and then because you actually help the production part, right? And you also have the post production part, and you also know that what is being most attractive content for a local watcher, like the auto users, because you may just put on certain dialects down there to fit their taste, to fit their preferences, and then within that, there's maybe not only the plots that can be like designed in that way, maybe some characters that you can leverage to create some artificial characters down there.
Yeah. So like from past few months, AI has been a lot talked about, and no doubt in our team as well, people are speaking about it a lot. But we have not implemented anything as of now. But the first thing we're gonna do is to create more thumbnails of any content, so that our CTR goes high. So right now we are working on that. Automatically, we will take the scenes from that whole movie or web series, and we create this auto thumbnails so that we can experiment and A/B test between a lot of them automatically. So this is the thing we will do first, and then uh, maybe one day we will also build the whole series via AI end to end.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have the raw material you mentioned. For example, you may have a one, I would say maybe just a 1 hour episode, where you have several series of episode, right? And
Yeah.
I watched some of the like my home country from originally. I was from Beijing, so there's some dramas, but there's some character are really my favorite. And sometimes because they want to make sort of many episodes of drama, there's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
lengthy. I
yeah,
only want to focus on maybe not even now the main character. I really like one love story, maybe at the
yeah,
sideline. So I like to say, hey, I want to see it allow me to choose the character I'm really in love with. And then I love to see the storylines developed just for these particularly two characters. So that maybe not only have to, because you said you have a smaller team but you want to do big things, so
yeah.
have you ever done similar stuff? Because you mentioned you will create a thumbnail and then you maybe also just produce a like sidelines and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, absolutely, Zoe. This is really amazing. This world is changing very fast after AI. The thing you mentioned right now that is mind blowing. If user can choose this specific person, I want to see the whole story. It should
right,
be there automatically. If this kind of thing's gonna happen, the content thing gonna change a lot eh, in next few years, and it will be more personalized. Even the person wants
right.
his story in his way, in his the way he wants it to go. It automatically will be like that. So yeah, it is endless.
All right. Yeah, so this is something like because you are producing, you also do the post production, and then there's a lot of I think I see the factors that leverage the technologies we talk about just now. You also mentioned your name. This is mainly for video, for example, processing, transcoding, and distribution because
Yeah,
they have limited quota. Then the end users really want, hey, I have only 1
yeah,
gigabytes. I
yeah.
want to watch the most content, but I also want to enjoy the better quality. And
Correct.
on the other side, I think all this, you're on the producer side, there's a lot of ideas, and then to help them create the most attractive content, and then you evaluate that with the watching
Yeah,
time, but then you can do another reproduction or second
yeah,
rounds of
Yeah.
production based on so many materials, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then with so many storylines, I can see that
yeah,
sometimes people mention, oh, I'm working, living in the dual space. Maybe the
yeah,
same character and then showing in different
yeah, yeah,
storylines, but then they have some connections down there, and then
yeah,
you can reuse them, and maybe like longer or even shorter, like not maybe not quite short videos, but I can still see
short
sometimes
films,
I
short films we can make.
short films. For example, I only have 30 minutes, but I want to watch the whole 20 episode. But at least I can start to talk about this drama with my friends. It looks like I have watched all of them, but actually I only look at a thumbnail or abstract of them. That could be really like at least for us,
I
this
got
kind
two
of
ideas here. I get two ideas from this call. Nice, really good.
yeah, and so this content part. So on the other part, I think you also mentioned when you grow to a certain volume, right? And then you start to serve different regions of the country, and so is that a cloud? Because right now you mentioned the CDN, you mainly leverage AWS CloudFront and
Yeah,
GCP Media CDN. And do you see how this cloud, I will say maybe you have to deploy different servers down the road to serve different locations? And how do you feel about these cloud services that facilitate the production distribution of the thing that you are currently contribute to work for?
yeah. So after AWS and GCP, these kind of organizations have come. These things have all changed. It's very easy now. It's click deployments. So automatically it will scale. Automatically we can make our servers in all different states of the country. I think AWS and GCP both has in Delhi and Mumbai both. So we can choose uh, in which location we want to start our VMs. So it has been very easy now.
Okay.
Also thinking about the future, what kind of technology or ideas are you thinking about beyond AI, obviously, for the rest of this year and kind of into next?
Okay, I would like to emphasize and work more on our our video player, so that it works very well across all devices, small screen, big screen, low RAM, uh, and low memory, because that has been a challenge for us because there are assembled phones are also there in India, which are very low end, but our users are there on these kind of phones as well. So we're gonna work really hard on our player. And second thing that in India, the CTV, smart TV is increasing a lot. People are started to use them, have started to use them. But
Hmm.
again, people mainly uses this assembled TVs, which are not standard. So
Mm.
for them, we will have to tweak some things in our platform, in our smart TV app. And importantly, we have built our smart TV app in Flutter only. And we have
Right.
exploited Flutter a lot. And it works really good, but it is bit challenging right now. But you don't need a lot of people to build all the TVs for all the other OSs.
Right.
Flutter automatically does that. So yeah, next thing we're gonna do lot in our video player for streaming.
So you mentioned the player design for big screens like TVs or different all kinds of different phones. Can you give us an idea what's the percentage of like users watching over mobiles as opposed to watching over the big screen?
Yeah, so we have a split of around 80-20, or 20% people see content on smart TV, and I think it is increasing. It will increase in next few years. Uh, Adoption is increasing. So if you are there in the smart TV, the user is stick now. If you are there in their living room, they won't go. So our target that a lot of people should watch content on smart TV, and
Mm.
there again, your or transcoding thing help. We are transcoding our content in 4K as well, so it's really really good quality.
Mm.
Oh, actually, this is a little counterintuitive from my side. I thought more and more like users they want to watch on the phones because it's really just you can watch things and anywhere, anytime. But you particularly
Yeah, yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
that exactly smart TVs
So
users are growing.
so they can watch on phone. They must have this accessibility to watch on phone. But I'm saying if you're there in their living room, you are there. Like Netflix, you can't remove from your life because it's there on your TV. Every time you eat food, you have to open the TV and watch content with your family. Our target is
Right.
that. Phone are handy. They are all mobile. You can watch content anytime. But our preference is that you watch the content on TV because that will give you the best experience of that content.
Mm.
That's right. And then that's kind of like bigger resolutions, of course. Like you
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah. We
mentioned
want
for
to be in everyone's home, inside their living room, where they watch content with their family. See, in India, for dialect, there are few content pieces available there, but they are very sleazy in nature. You can't watch that content with the whole family.
Mm.
And we started a stage with the idea of creating premium quality content for these users. We believe that so in India mainly people think that people in small villages, small places, they can't afford things, so good content is not available for them. But we believe main money in India is in small villages.
Mm.
All big cities lives on EMI. Uh, in villages, people buy things in cash. They have money. They have shed lot of money.
Mm.
And initially, when we started the stage, people and investors used to say that your users won't pay for this service. They can't pay. But we believe they will pay. Right now, we have 500,000 paid subscribers just from small villages.
And so
So
you mentioned that payment mechanisms are could be problematic if most of the payments are done in cash. What mechanisms do you have set up for?
So in India, UPI has done a phenomenal job.
Right.
Now, around UPI penetration is around 70%. I think the people who has smartphones. So
Okay.
UPI is working really good. Our 90% all payment happen via UPI only. People do not use internet banking or cards here a lot.
Right.
And now NPCI is doing really good job here. They have also launched UPI auto pay, just like
Right.
our credit cards. Automatically every month
That's right.
amount will go. So it has been blessing to all the content companies in India, and
Hmm.
paying online has become a very simple thing in the country.
That's right. I think when I visited you last, you guys were working on the recurring UPI
Recurring
payments, I
payments,
think,
yeah.
right? So that's gone good?
It's going phenomenally good, David.
Good, good, good.
We have not expected that. So our day zero uh, renewal of monthly plan is 80%. So
That's
80%
that's a
people
that's a
think,
great
yeah. So
great
that's really great, and we are
retention
hoping for
rate.
3 months plan it will be around 90%, I believe.
Right.
Uh, let's hope if
Yep.
that happens, we will be profitable by October, and our main target and goal right now is to hit a profitability. Yeah, by October, if things goes right, touch wood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Touchwood. That's great.
And there's only 5 months, with less than 5 months to go. So then I like to have, from my side, could be towards the end. I want to say, because a startup, and then you are just trying to grow your business, right? You already
yeah,
make your goal to become profitability by October, but then along the way, there's always competitions and competitors and out there.
yeah,
Especially, I think there's also big players, and then they have the resources from
yeah.
different ways. They already built their brand. So, how do you anticipate
See,
that down the road?
yeah, yeah. So I'll tell you that. Uh,
Mm,
Good question. The competitors are always there,
yeah.
Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hotstar for that matter. They have shit lot of money with them. They can throw these things, throw all money. But I think it is not a money problem. It's a time problem. All these places we are going and creating content, there is no existing library there. We are creating it from scratch. Now let's say Netflix or Prime or Hotstar, they say that we want to go and work in Haryana or Rajasthan. It will take minimum 3 years to build some library there. We are already there. In 3 years, we're going to do more states. So we'll be far ahead of them. This is first thing. Second thing, competition can do anything if they have all money with them. We'll have to find our moat. So for that, what we have identified is that initially we thought our product is an OTT platform where people watch content, but it's
Mhm.
not like that. There is a different game altogether here, which we have realized after some time. Our product is the the fact that these platforms help people reinforce their pride and dignity for their dialect. That is our product. People are
Dignity of the
connected to
dialogue.
their dialect.
Mm.
What happens in India, if you do not talk in English or Hindi, people think that you are uneducated, you are gamar, like in Hindi it's a term, and they see you with ill eyes. They won't respect you. But we believe dialect is a way, Hindi or English is a way of communication. It does not define what kind of person you are and what educational background you had. So that doesn't define that. For that, we created a premium platform where we can make these dialects really look cool. And people should not be afraid of speaking in their own dialect. I'll give you an
But
example here. There is a guy who works in our team. He used to work in a cafe in a place called Rohtak in Haryana.
mhm.
That guy speaks in Haryanvi, some tone. In Hindi also, if he talks, that Haryanvi tone is always there. His manager fired him after 2 months, saying that in when you talk, your language is some bit of Haryanvi into it, and that is bad for the reputation of this cafe, this fancy cafe. That day, that guy, I asked him in the interview that why did you join stage? He told if stage will become successful, these kind of things will never happen. That is why there is the importance of stage becoming a big company. That is the idea of stage I like so much. That is why people are joining us. Whenever someone joins us, we ask them, what do you want to join stage? If they align with this whole vision of the company, then we approve them to join us. So yeah, so basically we are building a Kranti here, a revolution where we are becoming a part in and preserving the dialect, culture, and
Mhm.
localness of any place, which is the most important key element of formation of any big place or big legacy.
So actually, you try to actually not only keep, uh, like the dialects at the
Yeah,
same time, you just make whoever speak that dialects feel really,
yeah.
feel the dignity.
Yes, so next thing we're going to try is that to build a layer of community over the OTT platform. So we just don't want to be OTT platform. We want to be OTT plus plus. If you
Mhm.
have read a blog by A16Z, Anderson Horowitz, called Social Strike Back, it's an amazing blog. It explains next era will not be OTT, it will be OTT plus plus, and what all things it will has. See, initially social networks were like Facebook. Now it's all TikTok or Instagram. So things
Mhm.
are changing very fast. And that is how we see stages evolving as it will become a OTT plus plus where a layer of community will be there where the people speaking same dialect, belonging to same region, they will be communicating and discussing about these things on the platform itself. And that is how we envision that we're going to create a moat around our platform so that we can compete with other players. That will be our differentiator.
Well, thank you for actually sharing your vision. And then I think same thing is when we talk about the big players or in the field or the humongous competitors in the field, because of mainly the vision and value you share with your team, you share with your users, share with the customer, share with the community. That's
Yeah.
actually leads the effort into, I think, the largest potential. And
Yeah.
we actually appreciate uh, that you came to our episode and to share this. And we also hope that a lot of people can hear this episode and at least to see there's a possibility down there for them, for different people that they speak different dialects and everybody feel proud and speaking that specific dialects. And thank you. And then any further than others, we're going to close this episode. And we really appreciate all the sharings. And at the same time, I think you already made the goal. You have a target. And then we really hope the best with the
Yeah.
pursuits of you and the stage team.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Zoe.